The plane hit the mountain at 11:47 in the morning. I remember because I looked at my watch just before the impact. My boss, Richard Hastings, was sitting across from me in the small corporate jet. He had been staring out the window for 20 minutes without saying a word. That was normal. Richard never said much. I had worked for him for 6 years. 6 years of silence. 6 years of cold emails and canceled meetings. 6 years of feeling invisible. And now we were falling from the sky together. The pilot shouted something I could not understand. The plane shook. Richard's eyes met mine for the first time in months. Really met mine. Not the quick glance he gave me when he signed papers. Not the blank look when he passed me in the hallway. This was different. He reached across the aisle and grabbed my hand. Then everything went black. Before we continue, if this is your first time watching one of our videos, we'd love for you to hit that subscribe button and comment where you are watching from. Your support means the world to us, and it helps us bring you even more powerful stories. When I woke up, I was lying in snow. My head hurt. My shoulder hurt. Everything hurt. I could hear wind. I could hear trees moving. And I could hear someone breathing nearby. "Are you alive?" a voice asked. It was Richard. His voice sounded strange. Weak. I opened my eyes. The sky above me was gray and heavy with clouds. I turned my head slowly. Richard was sitting against a tree about 10 feet away. His suit jacket was torn. There was blood on his forehead. "I think so," I said. My voice came out rough and quiet. "The pilot is dead," Richard said. He was not looking at me. He was staring at something beyond the trees. "The plane is in pieces. I do not think anyone knows where we are." I sat up slowly. Pain shot through my shoulder, but I pushed through it. I looked around. He was right. The plane had broken apart. Pieces of metal were scattered across the snow. Smoke rose from something in the distance. "Do you have your phone?" I asked. Richard shook his head. "No signal." I already checked. We were alone. 50 years old. Stranded on a mountain. With a man I had spent 6 years hating. I looked at Richard Hastings. Really looked at him. He was pale. His hands were shaking. The cold, untouchable CEO who never smiled was sitting in the snow, looking lost. "We need to find shelter," I said. He nodded slowly. "Yes." That was all he said. Yes. One word. But it was the first time in 6 years that Richard Hastings had agreed with me about anything. We found a cave before dark. It was not much. Just a hollow space between 2 large rocks. But it blocked the wind. That was enough. Richard had a lighter in his pocket. We gathered wood and started a small fire. We did not talk much. We were both too cold, too hurt, too scared. I watched him as he worked. He moved carefully, like every motion hurt. His hands shook as he arranged the sticks. Once he stopped and closed his eyes, taking a long breath. "Are you okay?" I asked. "My ribs," he said quietly. "I think something is broken." I moved closer. "Let me see." He looked at me with surprise. Like he had forgotten I was there. Like he had forgotten I was a person. "It is fine," he said. "It is not fine," I said. "Let me see." For a moment, I thought he would refuse. Richard Hastings never asked for help. He never showed weakness. But then he nodded. I helped him remove his jacket and shirt. He winced with every movement. When I saw his side, I understood why. A deep purple bruise spread across his ribs. "You should not move too much," I said. "We might need to walk tomorrow," he said. "To find help. Then we will walk slowly." He looked at me. Really looked at me. And for the first time since I had known him, I saw something in his eyes that was not cold distance. I saw gratitude. "Thank you," he said. 2 words. "Thank you." I had worked for Richard Hastings for 6 years. He had never thanked me before. Night came fast on the mountain. The temperature dropped. Our small fire was not enough. We huddled close to it, but the cold found us anyway. I could not stop shivering. My teeth chattered. I wrapped my arms around myself, but it did not help. "Come here," Richard said. I looked at him. He had opened his torn jacket. "Body heat," he said. "It is basic survival." I hesitated. This was my boss. The man I had despised. The man who had made me feel worthless for 6 years. But I was so cold. I moved closer. He wrapped the jacket around both of us. I could feel his body shaking too. We were both freezing. But together it was a little warmer. "I am sorry," he said quietly. I looked up at him. "For what?" "For how I have treated you." The words hung in the air between us. I did not know what to say. "You are an excellent assistant," he continued. His voice was soft. Almost a whisper. "I have always known that. But I never told you." "Why not?" I asked. He was quiet for a long time. The fire crackled. The wind howled outside our small shelter. Because I did not know how to talk to you, he finally said. Because every time I looked at you, I saw everything I had lost. Everything I had given up. I frowned. I do not understand. You remind me of someone, he said. Someone from a long time ago. He did not say more. And I did not ask. Not that night. We sat together in the darkness, sharing warmth, sharing silence. And for the first time in 6 years, Richard Hastings felt like a real person to me. Not a boss. Not a cold stranger. Just a man. Broken. Scared. Human. We stayed in the cave for 3 days. Richard's ribs made it too painful for him to walk far. And the truth was, we had no idea which direction to go. So we waited. We hoped someone was looking for us. During those 3 days, something strange happened. We talked. Really talked. On the second morning, I asked him about the person I reminded him of. Richard was quiet for a long time. He stared at the fire. Then he spoke. Her name was Sarah, he said. I met her when I was 25. I was just starting my business. Working 18-hour days. Trying to build something from nothing. What happened? I asked gently. She loved me, he said. His voice was heavy with old pain. She really loved me. Not my money. Not my success. Just me. She saw who I was before all of this. He gestured vaguely, like he was pointing at his whole life. She wanted to get married. Have children. Build a life together. And I said yes. I wanted that too. But then my company started to grow. Faster than I expected. I had opportunities one could not ignore. Deals I had to close. Meetings I could not miss. You chose work, I said. I chose work, he repeated. Again and again. I told myself it was temporary. That I would slow down soon. That we would have time later. But you did not. No, he said. I did not. And one day, Sarah told me she could not wait anymore. She said she loved me, but she could not be second place in my life forever. She left. Married someone else. Had 3 children. His eyes filled with tears. I had never seen Richard Hastings cry before. I built an empire, he said. I have more money than I could spend in 10 lifetimes. But I go home to an empty house every night. I eat dinner alone. I wake up alone. I have everything and nothing. He looked at me then. Really looked at me. And you, he said. You have kind eyes. Like hers. You smile at people in the office. You remember birthdays. You ask about children and families. You are everything I walked away from. Every time I see you, I remember what I lost. So I stayed cold. I stayed distant. Because it hurt less. I felt tears on my own cheeks. That is not fair to me, I said quietly. I know, he said. I know. And I am sorry. That afternoon, I told him about my life. I told him about my husband, Michael, who had died 8 years ago. About the car accident that took him too soon. About the grief that had swallowed me whole. We had 2 children, I said. Daniel and Emma. They were only 12 and 10 when he died. I had to be strong for them. I had to keep working, keep living, keep moving forward. I did not have time to fall apart. That must have been hard, Richard said. It was, I said. But the children needed me. So I became everything for them. Mother. Father. Friend. I went to every school event. Every game. Every concert. I never missed a moment. Because I knew how fast time goes. How quickly people can be taken away. That is why you requested so many days off, Richard said slowly. I looked at him. You always seemed angry when I asked. I was not angry, he said. I was envious. You had something I never did. You had people who needed you. People who loved you. I had meetings and spreadsheets. We were quiet for a while. The fire burned low. I added more wood. My children are grown now, I said. Daniel is 20. Emma is 18. They're building their own lives. And I realized I had spent so much time being their mother that I forgot how to be anything else. I am 50 years old. My children do not need me the way they used to. And I am lost. You are not lost, Richard said gently. You are just beginning again. So are you, I said. He smiled then. A real smile. Small and sad but real. Maybe we both are, he said. On the 4th day we heard the helicopter. Richard was sleeping. His fever had gotten worse during the night. I had been so worried. His skin was hot. He shivered even though we were close to the fire. But then I heard it. The distant sound of blades cutting through air. Richard, I said, shaking him gently. Richard, wake up. I hear something. His eyes opened slowly. He looked confused. Helicopter, I said. We stumbled out of the cave. I waved my arms. I shouted. I did not know if they could see us. The trees were thick. We were just two small figures in a vast mountain wilderness. But then the helicopter circled back. Lower this time. They had seen us. I started crying. Relief poured through me like water. We were going to be okay. We were going to live. I looked at Richard. He was crying too. We made it, he said. We made it, I repeated. He reached for my hand. Squeezed it. Thank you for keeping me alive. Thank you for keeping me warm, I said. The helicopter landed in a clearing nearby. Men in rescue gear ran toward us. They put us on stretchers. They wrapped us in thermal blankets. They asked questions I could barely hear over the sound of the blades. As they lifted me into the helicopter, I looked back at Richard. Our eyes met. Something had changed between us on that mountain. Something I did not have words for yet. But I knew I would see him again. I knew this was not the end. I spent 2 days in the hospital. Hypothermia. A dislocated shoulder. Mild dehydration. But nothing permanent. Daniel and Emma came to see me right away. They held my hands. They cried. They told me how scared they had been when they heard about the crash. I thought I lost you, Mom, Emma said through tears. I am right here, I said. I am okay. You have to be more careful, Daniel said. But he was smiling. You are the only parent we have left. I know, I said. I know. They stayed with me until the nurses made them leave. After they were gone, I lay in the hospital bed, thinking about Richard. I wondered how he was. I wondered if he was alone in his room. I wondered if anyone had come to see him. The next morning, I found out. A nurse told me that Mr. Hastings was in the room next to mine. She said he had been asking about me, asking if I was okay. Can I see him? I asked. She hesitated. Are you family? No, I said. But we survived a plane crash together. Does that count? She smiled. I will see what I can do. 20 minutes later, I was sitting in a wheelchair outside Richard's room. The nurse pushed me inside. Richard was sitting up in bed. He looked better than he had on the mountain. Clean. Rested. But still tired. Still hurt. When he saw me, his face changed. He smiled. Hello, he said. Hello, I said. The nurse left us alone. How are you feeling? I asked. Better, he said. 3 broken ribs. But they will heal. How about you? The same. Nothing permanent. We were quiet for a moment. It felt strange to see each other here. In the real world. Not on a mountain. Not fighting to survive. I have been thinking, Richard said slowly, about what we talked about the choices I made, about the life I walked away from. Me too, I said. I do not want to waste any more time, he said. I do not want to wake up at 60 or 70 and realize I spent my whole life alone. I want to change. I want to be different. That is good, I said. I want to start by making things right with you, he said. I want to be a better boss, a better person. If you will give me the chance. I looked at him, at this man who had been cold and distant for 6 years. This man who had opened up to me on a frozen mountain. This man who was trying. I will give you the chance, I said. He smiled. Thank you. But I have one condition, I said. What is it? No more silence, I said. No more cold distance. If we are going to work together, we talk. Like real people. Agreed. He nodded. Agreed. I went back to work 3 weeks later. The office felt different. Or maybe I felt different. I could not tell. People stared at me when I walked in. Everyone knew about the crash. Everyone knew that Richard and I had survived 4 days alone on a mountain. They whispered. They wondered. But I did not care what they thought. Richard had called me before my first day back. He asked if we could meet for coffee before work. Just to talk. To make sure I was really ready to return. I said yes. We met at a small cafe 2 blocks from the office. Richard was already there when I arrived. He stood up when he saw me. He pulled out my chair. You look well, he said. Thank you, I said. So do you. He did look better. The bruises had faded. His eyes were brighter. He seemed lighter somehow. Like he had put down something heavy. I have been thinking about something, he said after we ordered coffee. About what I said on the mountain. About wanting to change. I meant it. But I do not know how. I smiled. You are already doing it. How? You are here, I said. You are asking. You are trying. That is how change starts. He nodded slowly. I want to be honest with you about something. Okay. I have been alone for a very long time, he said. I do not know how to be close to people anymore. I do not know how to let anyone in. But I want to try. With you. If that is something you would want. My heart skipped. I had not expected this. What are you saying? I asked quietly. I am saying that I care about you, he said. Not as my assistant. As a person. As a woman. I do not know if you feel the same. And I understand if you do not. But I needed you to know. I looked at him. At his nervous hands. At his hopeful eyes. At this man who was trying so hard to be brave. I do not know what I feel yet, I said honestly. This is all very new. A month ago, I could not stand you. And now? And now, he asked. And now I see you, I said. Really see you. And I like what I see. But I need time. I need to understand what this is. Of course, he said quickly. Take all the time you need. I just wanted you to know. We drank our coffee. We talk about small things. About the office. About the weather. About nothing important. But something had shifted. Again. Over the next few weeks, Richard changed. He smiled at people in the hallway. He asked how they were. He remembered names. He stopped working through lunch and ate with the team sometimes. People noticed. They whispered more. They wondered what had happened to the cold CEO they had known. And he was different with me. He said good morning every day. He asked about my children. He listened when I talked. One Friday afternoon, he knocked on my office door. Do you have dinner plans? He asked. No, I said. Would you like to have dinner with me? He asked. Nothing fancy. Just dinner. I thought about it. About what it would mean. About what people would say. But I also thought about the man sitting across from me in the plane. About the man who had held my hand when we thought we were going to die. About the man who had shared his warmth and his stories in a dark cave. Yes, I said. I would like that. He smiled. Good. I will pick you up at 7. Richard picked me up at exactly 7 o'clock. He drove himself. No driver. No luxury car. Just a normal sedan. He wore jeans and a sweater. I had never seen him in jeans before. You look nice, he said when I got in the car. Thank you, I said. I was nervous. More nervous than I had been in years. He took me to a small Italian restaurant. The kind with checkered tablecloths and candles in wine bottles. Nothing fancy. Nothing corporate. I hope this is okay, he said. I wanted somewhere quiet. Somewhere we could talk. It is perfect, I said. We ordered pasta. We drank red wine. And we talked. He asked about Daniel and Emma. What they were studying. What they wanted to do with their lives. Daniel wants to be a teacher, I said. He loves history. He talks about it all the time. And Emma wants to study medicine. She wants to help people. They sound wonderful, Richard said. You should be proud. I am, I said. They are everything to me. I can tell, he said. The way you talk about them. Your whole face changes. You light up. I smiled. They are the best thing I ever did. Do they know about us? He asked. About dinner tonight? I told them I was having dinner with a friend, I said. Is that what I am? He asked. A friend. I thought about it. I think so. Yes. A friend. He nodded. I like that. I have not had a friend in a long time. Why not? I asked. Because I did not let anyone close enough, he said. I built walls. High walls. I told myself it was because I was busy. Because I was focused on work. But the truth is I was scared. Scared of what? Of losing someone again, he said. Like I lost Sarah. I thought if I never let anyone in, I could never lose them. But all I did was lose everyone anyway. Just slowly. Over years instead of in one moment. He looked down at his plate. I have been thinking about time a lot lately. About how we spend it. About how we waste it. We almost died on that mountain. And all I could think about was how much time I had wasted. How many moments I had missed. How many people I had pushed away. You cannot change the past, I said gently. I know, he said. But I can change what I do now. Starting today. He reached across the table and took my hand. I am glad you said yes to dinner. Me too, I said. After dinner, Richard drove me home. He walked me to my door. Can I see you again? He asked. Outside of work? Yes, I said. Tomorrow, he asked. I laughed. Tomorrow I am having lunch with Emma. But Sunday. Sunday is free. Sunday then, he said. He smiled. What would you like to do? Something simple, I said. Maybe a walk in the park. Just time together. Time together, he repeated. I like that. He leaned in slowly. For a moment, I thought he was going to kiss me. But he stopped. He kissed my forehead instead. Gently. Softly. Good night, he said. Good night, I said. I watched him walk back to his car. I watched him drive away. And I stood on my doorstep for a long time after he was gone, thinking about everything that had changed. Emma noticed something was different at lunch the next day. You seem happy, Mom, she said. Like, really happy. Different happy. I smiled. Do I? Yes, she said. What is going on? I thought about lying. About saying nothing was going on. But I had always been honest with my children. I have been spending time with someone, I said carefully. Emma's eyes went wide. Like a man. Yes, I said. Like a man. Mom! Emma practically shouted. The people at the next table looked over. Who is he? How did you meet him? Why did you not tell me? I laughed. It is new. Very new. I did not want to say anything until I knew what it was. And what is it? She asked. I do not know yet, I said honestly. We are just spending time together, getting to know each other. I am happy for you, Emma said. She reached across the table and squeezed my hand. You deserve to be happy, Mom. You have been alone for so long. I was not alone, I said. I had you and Daniel. You know what I mean, she said. You have been taking care of us for 8 years. You never did anything for yourself. You never went on dates. You never even seemed to want to. But now, she smiled. Now you seem alive again. Her words hit me hard. She was right. I had been living for my children, but I had stopped living for myself. His name is Richard, I said. He is complicated, but kind, and he is trying to be better. When can we meet him? Emma asked. Soon, I said. If things keep going well. I told Daniel that night. He was quieter about it than Emma. He nodded. He asked a few questions. Then he said, Does he make you happy? Yes, I said. He does. Then that is all that matters, Daniel said. But then he added, Just be careful, Mom. I do not want to see you get hurt. I will be careful, I promised. 2 weeks later, I invited Richard to Sunday dinner. To meet my children. He was terrified. What if they do not like me? He asked. We were standing outside my house. He had arrived 10 minutes early. They will like you, I said. How do you know? Because I like you, I said. And they trust my judgment. What if I say something wrong? He asked. I laughed. Richard, you run a company with 300 employees. You negotiate million-dollar deals. You give speeches to hundreds of people. And you are scared of 2 20-year-olds. Yes, he said. Because they matter. To you. Which means they matter to me. I kissed him then. Right there on my front porch. It was our first real kiss. Soft and sweet and full of promise. Come on, I said. Let us go inside. Dinner was perfect. Daniel asked Richard about his business. Emma asked about his hobbies. Richard was nervous at first, but he relaxed as the evening went on. He told them about the plane crash. About the mountain. About how their mother had saved his life. She kept me warm, he said. She kept me calm. She kept me alive. Your mother is the strongest person I have ever met. Emma smiled. Daniel nodded. After dinner, Daniel pulled me aside in the kitchen. I like him, he said. He is good for you. Really? I asked. Really, Daniel said. You seem lighter. Happier. And he looks at you like you are the only person in the room. He does. I asked. He does, Daniel said. Do not let this one go, Mom. That night, after the children left, Richard and I sat on my couch. We drank tea. We held hands. Thank you for tonight, he said. Your children are wonderful. They liked you, I said. I liked them, he said. I can see you in them. Daniel has your kindness. Emma has your strength. They have their father too, I said quietly. Michael. They have his humor. His warmth. You still love him, Richard said. It was not a question. I will always love him, I said. He was my husband, the father of my children. A part of my heart will always be his. I am not asking you to forget him, Richard said. I am just asking for a part of your heart too. Whatever part you can give me. That is enough. I looked at him. At this man who had been so cold. So distant. So unreachable. This man who had learned how to feel again. You have it, I said. You already have it. He pulled me close. I rested my head on his shoulder. And we sat together in the quiet, listening to the sound of each other breathing. Things were good for 3 months. Richard and I spent every weekend together. We went for walks. We cooked dinner. We talked about everything and nothing. He met my friends. I met his colleagues. We were building something real. Something solid. But then the whispers started at work. People talked. They always do. They said I had gotten my position because of Richard. That I was sleeping my way to the top. That I was using him. I tried to ignore it. But it hurt. Every whispered comment. Every sideways glance. Every knowing look. One morning, a woman named Patricia stopped me in the hallway. Must be nice, she said. Her voice was cold. Having the boss wrapped around your finger. Some of us actually have to work for our success. I stared at her. Excuse me? You heard me, she said. We all know what is going on. You survived a plane crash together. And now suddenly you are dating? How convenient. How calculated. I felt my face burn. You have no idea what you are talking about. Do not I, she said. You are 50 years old. Past your prime. And you somehow managed to catch the CEO. Please. It is obvious what you are doing. I wanted to scream. I wanted to cry. But I held it together. I walked away. But her words stayed with me. All day. All night. I told Richard about it that evening. We were at his house. In his living room. The room I had once imagined as cold and empty. But it was not. He had pictures now. Of us. Of my children. Of moments he wanted to remember. Patricia said those things to you, he asked. His voice was tight with anger. Yes, I said. I will fire her, he said immediately. No, I said. You will not. That will only make things worse. People will say I am using my influence. That I am making you fire anyone who speaks against me. I do not care what they say, Richard said. But I do, I said. Richard, I have worked hard my whole life. I have earned everything I have. And now people think I am just, what? A gold digger? Someone using you. They are jealous, he said. Maybe, I said. But their words still hurt. He pulled me close. I am sorry. I am sorry that people are cruel. I am sorry that my position makes things complicated for you. I never wanted that. I know, I said. What do you want to do? He asked. I had been thinking about this all day. I want to quit, I said quietly. He pulled back. What? I want to quit my job, I said. I do not want to work for you anymore. I do not want people to question my abilities. I do not want anyone to say I am with you because of money or power. If I leave, we can just be two people. No complications. No questions. But you love your job, Richard said. I do, I said. But I love you more. It was the first time I had said it out loud. I love you. Richard's eyes filled with tears. You love me? Yes, I said. I love you. He kissed me, deep and long and full of everything he felt. When he pulled away, he said, I love you too. I have loved you since that moment on the plane when I grabbed your hand. I just did not know it yet. So I will quit, I said. And we can start fresh. No boss and assistant. Just Richard and me. No, he said. I frowned. No, he repeated. Do not quit because of cruel people. Do not give up something you love because others cannot mind their own business. If you want to quit for yourself, that is one thing. But do not do it because of them. Then what do I do? I asked. You hold your head high, he said. You do your job. You prove them wrong. And I will support you. Every step of the way. I thought about it. About what it would mean to stay. About the whispers. About the looks. But then I thought about giving up. About letting them win. About teaching my children that you should shrink yourself to make others comfortable. Okay, I said. I will stay. Good, Richard said. And anyone who has a problem with us can come talk to me directly. 6 months passed. The whispers got quieter. People got used to seeing Richard and me together. Or maybe they just found something new to gossip about. Daniel graduated from college. Emma started her pre-med program. Life moved forward the way life does. And Richard and I grew closer. We talked about moving in together. About building a life. One Sunday morning, Richard asked me to go for a walk with him. To the park where we had gone on our second date. It was autumn now. The leaves were gold and orange and red. The air was cool but not cold. Perfect. We walked slowly, hand in hand. We did not talk much. We did not need to. Then Richard stopped. Right in the middle of the path. What is it? I asked. He turned to face me. He looked nervous. More nervous than I had ever seen him. I have been thinking, he said. About time. About how we use it. About how little of it we might have. My heart started beating faster. Okay. I spent 50 years alone, he said. I built a company. I made money. I had success. But I had nothing that mattered. And then a plane fell from the sky. And it brought me to you. And you showed me what life is supposed to be. He reached into his pocket. Pulled out a small box. I do not want to waste another moment, he said. I do not want to wait. I do not want to wonder. I want to spend every day I have left with you. If you will have me. He opened the box. Inside was a simple ring. Nothing flashy. Just a gold band with a single small diamond. Will you marry me? He asked. I looked at him. At this man who had been cold and closed off. Who had learned to open his heart again. who had chosen love over fear. Yes, I said. Yes, I will marry you. He slipped the ring on my finger, and then he kissed me, right there in the park, with the autumn leaves falling around us like blessings. We got married 6 months later. In the spring. It was a small ceremony. Just family and close friends. In a garden full of flowers. Emma stood beside me as my maid of honor. Daniel walked me down the aisle. I cried when I saw him in his suit, looking so much like his father. Richard cried too when he saw me. He did not hide his tears. He let them fall freely. We wrote our own vows. When it was my turn, I looked at Richard and said, I stood in an office for 6 years thinking I knew you. Thinking you were cold. Unreachable. Impossible to understand. But the truth is, I did not know you at all. It took falling from the sky to see you. To really see you. And what I found was a man who was scared. A man who had built walls to protect a heart that had been broken. A man who just needed someone to show him it was safe to love again. My voice shook, but I continued. You are not perfect. Neither am I. We are both carrying wounds. Both learning how to trust again. But we're doing it together. And that makes all the difference. I love you for who you were. I love you for who you are. And I love you for who we are becoming together. Thank you for choosing me. Thank you for choosing love. Thank you for showing me that it is never too late to start again. Richard wiped his eyes. Then he spoke. I was a ghost for 25 years, he said. I was alive, but I was not living. I filled my days with work because I was too afraid to fill them with people. Too afraid to feel. Too afraid to lose. And then I met you. And for 6 years, I was too much of a coward to tell you that every morning when you said good morning, my whole day got brighter. That every time you smiled, I remembered what joy looked like. That you made me want to be better. To be braver. He took my hands in his. It took almost dying to wake me up. To make me realize that the only thing worse than loving and losing is never loving at all. You saved my life on that mountain. But you did more than that. You gave me a reason to want to live. A reason to wake up excited for the day. You gave me hope. And love. And a family. I promise to spend every day I have left showing you how grateful I am. How much I love you. How much you mean to me. There was not a dry eye in the garden. The officiant pronounced us husband and wife. Richard kissed me. Our friends and family cheered. And I thought about Michael. About the life I had lived with him. About the love we had shared. About the children we had raised together. I knew he would be happy for me. Happy that I had found love again. Happy that I had not given up. I love you, I whispered to Richard as we walked back down the aisle together. I love you more, he said. Impossible, I said. He laughed. That beautiful, warm laugh I had never heard before the mountain. Before the crash. Before everything changed. At the reception, Daniel gave a toast. When my father died, he said, I thought my mother would never smile again. I thought she would spend the rest of her life being sad. Being alone. Taking care of me and Emma, and forgetting to take care of herself. And for a long time, that is exactly what happened. She gave us everything. Her time. Her energy. Her heart. She showed up for every moment of our lives. But she disappeared from her own life. He looked at me. And then she got on a plane. And something happened that was terrible and beautiful at the same time. She almost died. But instead, she found a reason to really live again. She found Richard. He turned to Richard. I will be honest. When my mom first told me about you, I was protective. Suspicious. No one was going to be good enough for her. But then I met you. And I saw the way you looked at her. Like she was the most precious thing in the world. Like you could not believe she was real. And I knew you would take care of her. That you would love her the way she deserves to be loved. His voice cracked. So thank you. Thank you for making my mother happy. Thank you for giving her a second chance at love. And thank you for becoming part of our family. Everyone raised their glasses. I was crying again. Emma was crying. Even Richard's business partner, a man I had never seen show emotion, was wiping his eyes. Emma spoke next. My mom is the strongest person I know, she said. She held our family together when it was falling apart. She worked full-time and still made it to every single one of my soccer games. She helped me with my homework even when she was exhausted. She taught me that love means showing up. Every single day. Even when it is hard. Especially when it is hard. She smiled at me. But she also taught me something else without meaning to. She taught me that you can give too much. That you can lose yourself while taking care of everyone else. And I worried about her. I worried that she would wake up one day and realize she had no idea who she was anymore. No idea what she wanted. No idea what made her happy. She looked at Richard. And then you crashed into her life. Literally. And everything changed. She started smiling more. Laughing more. She started doing things just because she wanted to. Not because Daniel or I needed her to. Not because she felt obligated. Just because it made her happy. You gave her permission to be herself again. To want things. To need things. To be more than just mom. Emma raised her glass. So here is to second chances. To plane crashes that bring people together instead of tearing them apart. And to love that finds you when you are not even looking for it anymore. Later that night, Richard and I stood alone on the terrace of the venue. The party was still going on inside. We could hear music, laughter, the sound of people celebrating. But we needed a quiet moment. Just the two of us. This is the happiest day of my life, Richard said. Mine too, I said. Well, second happiest. The day each of my children was born. Those were pretty good days too. He laughed. Fair enough. I will take second place to Daniel and Emma. They earned it. We were quiet for a while, just holding each other, looking up at the stars. Do you ever think about what would have happened if the plane had not crashed? I asked. Every day, Richard said. We would have landed, gone back to our lives. You would have kept hating me. I would have kept being too much of a coward to change. We would have wasted more years. Maybe forever. It is strange, I said, that the worst thing that ever happened to us was also the best thing. Life is strange like that, Richard said. Sometimes you have to break completely before you can heal properly. Sometimes you have to lose everything to realize what actually matters. What matters? I asked, even though I knew the answer. This, he said, pulling me closer. You. Us. Love. Time spent with people who make you better. Moments like this one. That is all that matters. I kissed him. Soft and slow and full of promise. Promise of years ahead. Of mornings waking up together. Of coffee and conversation. Of laughter and tears. Of life fully lived. Take me home, I whispered. Our home, he said. Not mine. Not yours. Ours. Our home, I repeated. And it was. The first year of marriage was an adjustment. We had to learn how to share space. How to share a life. Richard had lived alone for 25 years. I had been alone for 8. We both had habits that annoyed the other. Richard left coffee cups everywhere. I folded laundry in a specific way and got frustrated when he did it differently. He liked the thermostat at 68 degrees. I liked it at 72. But we learned. We compromised. We talked through things instead of building resentment. And slowly, our separate lives became one shared life. A year ago, I married a woman most people thought was making a mistake. My kids weren't sure. My mother-in-law definitely wasn't sure. Even Rachel thought her mother had lost her mind. Nervous laughter around the table. But Margaret knew something we didn't. She knew that love isn't about perfection. It's not about having all the answers or knowing how things will work out. It's about showing up, being present, choosing each other every single day. He looked at me. This year hasn't been easy. We've had hard conversations, sad moments, times when we didn't know how to move forward. But we did it together. All of us. Emma spoke up, surprising everyone. I want to say something too. She stood, her face pink but determined. When Margaret moved in, I hated it. I thought she was trying to replace Mom, trying to make us forget. But she never did that. She just loved us. Quietly, without demanding anything back. She let us grieve and heal on our own time. Her voice shook. Mom left us letters. Did you know that? She left me one telling me it was okay to love again. Okay to let someone new in. She said that loving Margaret wouldn't mean I loved her any less. Tears streamed down Emma's face. And she was right. I love my mom. I'll always love my mom. But I love Margaret too. For being patient with me. For teaching me that family isn't just blood. It's choice. And I choose her. I couldn't see through my tears. Couldn't speak. Daniel stood next. Same. Margaret's pretty cool. For a stepmom. He grinned. But seriously, Dad looks happy again. We all do. And I think that's what Mom would have wanted most. Helen stood last. This tiny woman who'd carried so much grief for so long. I was wrong about you, Margaret, she said clearly. I thought you were trying to erase my daughter. But you did the opposite. You honored her. You planted her garden. You listened to our stories about her. You let us love her while we learned to love you. She wiped her eyes. Sarah chose well when she chose Thomas. And Thomas chose well when he chose you. I'm glad you're part of this family. The dinner lasted hours. We talked and laughed and cried and remembered. We told Sarah stories and made new memories. We celebrated who we'd been and who we were becoming. Rachel pulled me aside as people were leaving. You did it, Mom. You built a family from broken pieces. We all did it, I corrected. Together. That night, as we cleaned up, Thomas said, There's something else I need to tell you. About money. My stomach tightened. Okay. We sat at the kitchen table, just us. The house quiet around us. The business is doing really well. Better than before Sarah got sick. Marcus and I restructured some things. Took on new clients. We're stable again. More than stable. That's wonderful. Margaret, we're not rich. But we're comfortable. Very comfortable. The medical debt is paid off. The house is secure. There's money for the kids' college. Savings. Retirement. He took my hands. You married me thinking I was broke. And I let you think that because I needed to know you loved me. Not my potential. Not my house or my business. Just me. I understand. But now I need you to know the truth. Because we're partners. And partners don't keep secrets about finances. So here it is, all of it. He showed me bank statements. Investment accounts. The business's financial reports. Everything. It was a lot of money. Not mansion and yacht money. But solid, secure, comfortable money. Does this change things for you? I asked quietly. Knowing that I know. It makes me feel like we're finally on equal ground. No secrets. No omissions. Just truth. I looked at this man. This good, complicated, honest man who'd worked 3 jobs to keep his children's home. Who'd let his business nearly fail while he grieved. Who'd been so afraid of being loved for the wrong reasons that he'd hidden who he was. The only thing that would change things, I said, is if you stopped being you. If you stopped asking me how my day was. If you stopped caring about what I think. If you stopped treating Emma and Daniel like they matter more than money. I squeezed his hands. You could be a janitor or a CEO. Broke or comfortable. None of that changes why I love you. I love you because when I talk, you listen. When I'm sad, you notice. When I'm happy, you're happy. That's what matters. That's everything. He pulled me close. How did I get so lucky twice in one life? Not luck, I whispered. Choice. Sarah chose you. I chose you. You chose to let us. Summer came. Rachel moved into her new apartment. The kids helped her paint. Thomas and Daniel moved furniture. She was starting over at 42. Scared but determined. It's strange, she told me, unpacking boxes in her kitchen. Being on my own after 20 years. I don't even know who I am without David. You're about to find out, I said. And it's going to be amazing. She got a promotion at work. Started running in the mornings. Joined a book club. Made friends who were hers, not couple friends she and David had shared. She called me one evening, excited. Mom, I met someone. Already? No. Not like that. A friend. A woman at work. She's divorced too. We got coffee and talked for 3 hours. Just talked. About life and kids and starting over. It felt good. To have someone who understands. I'm so proud of you, I said honestly. I learned from the best. You started over at 54. I figure I can do it at 42. Her kids were adjusting. David had moved to Boston, saw them once a month. It wasn't ideal. But they were okay. Better than okay. They see me being strong, Rachel said. They see me choosing myself. They see that marriage should be a partnership, not a prison. That's worth more than staying together for the wrong reasons. In August, Emma got her college acceptance letters. She'd gotten into 7 schools. Good schools. Including the one Sarah had attended, the one Helen had been pushing for. Emma came to me one evening, letters spread on the table. I don't know what to do, she said. Grandma wants me to go to Mom's school. Dad says he'll support whatever I choose. Daniel says follow my gut. But I don't know what my gut says. What do you want? I asked. That's the problem. I wanted to go to Mom's school. I did. But now. She bit her lip. Now I think I want to go somewhere different. Make my own path. But I feel guilty. Why guilty? Because it feels like I'm rejecting Mom. Like I'm saying her choices weren't good enough. I sat beside her. Emma, your mother went to that school because it was right for her. That doesn't mean it's right for you. Honoring her doesn't mean copying her. It means living fully. Becoming completely yourself. But Grandma loves you. And she'll understand. Even if it hurts at first. Emma chose a different school. A smaller one closer to home with a strong art program. When she told Helen, there was a moment of silence. Then Helen hugged her. Hard. Your mother would be so proud, Helen whispered. Not because of which school, but because you chose what was right for you. That takes courage. Emma collapsed in tears. Relief and grief all mixed together. That night, Thomas held me close. You did that. You gave her permission to be herself. She always had permission. She just needed to believe it. Everyone was shocked. Richard Hastings, walking away from the empire he built? But I was not shocked. I knew he was ready. He had been ready for a while. What will you do? People asked him. Live, he said simply. Really live. Now we spend our days doing small, beautiful things. We take walks every morning. We cook dinner together every night. We read books and talk about them. We travel to places we always wanted to see. We babysit grandchildren and spoil them terribly. We volunteer at a local shelter. We donate money to causes we care about. We use the wealth Richard built to help others build better lives. People sometimes ask me if I miss working. If I miss the structure. The purpose. I tell them the truth. I found a different purpose. One that matters more. Richard and I sit on our back porch every evening and watch the sun set. We hold hands. We do not always talk. We do not need to. After all these years, we are comfortable in silence. Comfortable in presence. Comfortable in love. Last week, Emma came over for lunch. Just the two of us. Girl time, she called it. Mom, she said. Can I ask you something? Of course, I said. Do you think you would have been okay? She asked. If the plane had not crashed? If you and Richard had never gotten together? Would you have been okay alone? I thought about it. Really thought about it. Yes, I said finally. I would have been okay. I had you and Daniel. I had my work. I had friends. I would have survived. But what? But I would not have thrived, I said. I would have gone through the motions. I would have been content. But not happy. Not really. There is a difference between surviving and living. Between being okay and being joyful. The crash, as terrible as it was, woke me up. Made me realize I had been sleepwalking through my own life. I am glad it woke you up, Emma said. Even if it was scary. Even if you almost died. I am glad you found Richard. I am glad you found yourself. Me too, I said. Me too. Tonight, Richard and I are sitting on our porch again. The sun is setting. The air is cool but not cold. Perfect. Do you remember what you said to me on the mountain? Richard asks. That first night in the cave? I said a lot of things, I say. You said that you had spent so much time being a mother that you forgot how to be anything else, he says. That you were lost. I remember, I say. Are you still lost, he asks. I look at him. At his kind eyes. At the gray in his hair. At the wrinkles around his mouth from smiling so much these past 10 years. No, I say. I am not lost anymore. I am exactly where I need to be. He kisses my forehead. The same gentle kiss he gave me on our first date. The same kiss he gives me every night before we go to sleep. I love you, he says. I love you too, I say. And we sit together in the fading light. Two people who found each other in the most unexpected way. Two people who almost died, but chose to really live instead. Two people who learned that it is never too late. Never too late to change. Never too late to love. Never too late to begin again. The sun sets. The stars come out. And we hold each other close, grateful for every moment. Every breath. Every second chance. Because that is what life is. One long series of second chances. And the only question that matters is, what will you do with yours? The end. Thank you for listening to this story. If it touched your heart, please like and share. What was your favorite moment? Let me know in the comments below.